A fresh start to the 2024 season of the AVP begins right here in Huntington Beach, California. The first heritage event of the season, the first title up for grabs. Could it be the #1 seed on the men's side, Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander, as they get set for a second round matchup versus none other than TNT. A little dynamite on the opposition. That's Tim Bomgren playing alongside Troy Field. No doubt a fan favorite, but also a fan favorite. How about a little pure pressure cooker up in the house? Because I've got Trevor Crabb joining me now for this one. Your brother's down on the sand. Why aren't you?
Unfortunately, I obviously wish we could be down there and beating the little bro again, as usual. But
you have his number.
Yeah, but
who's keeping track?
Yeah, who's counting? So I'm looking forward to this game. We got 4 of the best, I think, athletes on tour in this matchup, so it should be an exciting one.
Well, we're going to get back to where you are exactly in terms of the Olympic standings and that conversation. I know everyone wants to know some of your thoughts as you're preparing for just the crazy finish to the season. But for now, we're going to head down to our dear friend down on the sand, Kevin Barnett, always with a little extra chaos down there. What's going on, Kev?
Yeah, Cameron, didn't take very long for things to go off the rails with my return to the AVP, did it? I'm here with my transportation, and we're going to try and give you a little bit of a view as to what it's like to be on the sand during a match. I'm going to be diving in and out. I think we can check in with Troy and Tim in the middle of this match, and if you're not here, we want to make you feel like you are here in Stadium in Huntington.
We want to make you feel like you are a part of the AVP because this is the place to be. So many new elements to this season, and I'm sure you're kind of feeling antsy to get back out there. You like what you're seeing with the Heritage and the league coming up?
I do. I mean, it's obviously a huge change. It's going to be something like we've never seen before, and I'm excited not only to get back out there, but also to make the league and, win the whole thing.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you out on the sand. But for now, let's head down to Mark Sherman for our team introductions.
Yes, all right, it is time. It is time for the second round of the winner's bracket. These two teams won their first match, and they're ready to go to the final round of the winner's bracket. And these gentlemen, when I saw y'all, we're together. We're back together. This is fun. You guys are so fun. You couldn't even grow a mustache last time you played together. I still can't do that, Troy. But it looks great on you. It does. It's beautiful. It fits. It's nice. Ladies and gentlemen, this first guy, you know him. You love him. Whoa, he's got something on his hat, too. What's going on there? We'll find out more about that later. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it out of Laguna Beach, California. He is Mr. Troy Field. I love it. Yes, he's mic'd up. And his partner out of Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen. What an athlete. He works out with his kids. Then he goes to the simulator, the golf simulator. I think he's down to like a 2 handicap. Then he goes to the gym. Then he goes to the volleyball court, and I love to see him. I'm so glad you're back out here, baby. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Timmy Bomgren.
Hey guys.
Way to recognize Troy. And their opponents. Coming in as the #1 seed here in Huntington Beach, ladies and gentlemen. They are an entertaining pair to watch. They are high-flying. They are heavy-hitting from the indoor court to the sands of Huntington Beach. Let me hear it for the 2-time Olympian, Mr. Taylor Sander. Oh, and his partner, also heavy hitting, also has the finesse all over the place in the backcourt. Evie, you too, by the way, Evie. Yes, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, out of Honolulu, Hawaii, at Long Beach State University, let me hear it for the Bug, Taylor Crabb.
All right, Trevor, who do you think is going to have the first shot just in terms of the trash talking? Usually it'd be between you and your brother, but I feel like there's a little history between none other than Troy and your brother.
Yeah, I think, obviously those guys got their little, their podcast going together. So I think there might be too much buddy-buddy going on in this match, I want to see Sandman take over the trash talking in this match.
Ooh, I'm here for it. There's no doubt about it. You got the 8 seed Bomgren and Field on the left side of your screen. Crabb and Sander, the 2-time Olympian. and bronze medalist Taylor Sander playing left side. That's a tough first serve to get started. Here's a look at the bug. Earning the first. And I can't wait to have you break this down just in terms of, I feel like if you got to throw in the trash talk, like you would actually be down there playing for this one, okay?
Yeah, you kind of have to do it mid-swing, and especially after you get the kill, then you throw in a little extra.
I like it. This is like a how to trash talk.
Yes, exactly.
Teach me your ways, Trevor.
Yeah. Trash talking 101.
I got to get a little grit. Tim Bomgren playing alongside Troy, getting back together. Saw them in action. They were the breakthrough team of the year back in 2019. What do you think them getting back together means? I
mean, they were a pretty good team back then. I think they beat me and Try one time. Yeah, I know, it's very surprising.
Wow.
I was just as surprised when they beat us. And then oh, nice block by Sander there. But then I got revenge with my old partner Reed Pretty in the Manhattan Beach Open when we, won the tournament. So
it's still funny to hear you say mild partner Reed Pretty.
Yeah. I know. I haven't seen him in a while, but heard he's still around.
Yeah, I actually saw him last week. Nice pickup from Taylor. How about that?
Yeah, that's Bug doing Bug things. The one-handed over-on-one kill, and that's a quick 4-0 start. This could be over sooner than we thought.
Yeah, your time in the broadcast booth might be somewhat expedited here. I mean. Think you're going to start on Tim Bomgren. I checked in with both Tim and Troy prior to this, and I said, how do you deal with some of the offensive mechanisms on the opposite side? Just the crazy kind of routes and approaches that you see from that of Crabb and Sander. What would be your approach defensively against this team?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be really disciplined on especially blocking, staying in front of the hitter when they're running all those crazy routes. And if they make a crazy, jump set and fake you out, you just got to hand it to them, You can't take away everything on defense.
You can guarantee that one is going to leave Troy talking a bit more. The joust, stare down, and then the finish on his side. Here goes Taylor Sander. There's the finesse, one of the nice elements of his game. Let's check in. I believe Kevin Barnett is courtside somewhere?
Yeah, I'm wandering around, but I just had some good information on the Taylor's game plan opening this match. They're going to serve Tim Bomgren a lot more and test him. They feel like they can limit him a little bit more than they can limit Troy. Troy's that on-two guy, has a lot of options to go, but they're going to try and get after Tim. And one of the interesting things about this is they said we've only practiced against them once, and that's partially because Tim Bomgren lives in Minnesota, so they don't see him too much. So you're flying a little bit more blind than you would normally against some of the players you do see regularly for practice or you can invite to a training session.
Yeah, Kev, I don't know about that. There's something about those chilly temps that seem to be producing some good volleyball players. You think internationally of the Swedes, but I mean, he doesn't seem to like he's ever lost a step.
I don't understand. I think it's a lot of God-given gifts there, and he only plays 5 months out of the year, and he's in top shape always. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what Timmy has done in his career.
Timmy playing defense behind Troy Field, who makes the switch back to full-time blocking.
Yeah, I think that was a better decision by him. A little better blocker than defender, I think.
I think he would say the same.
Yeah.
I was just chatting with him, and he was like, yeah, I decided I think it's time to really commit to this. So
yeah, he
tried his ways behind the block. One of the best jumpers out here. A little bit undersized.
I'm always happy, Taylor.
And the conversation continues. What's the best way to get under your brother's skin?
It's tough. He doesn't really.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
He's pretty
calm
and collective, I think once you get him kind of riled up and talking back to you, that's kind of when I know that it's working a little bit.
Yes.
But we're always just so naturally competitive against each other. It's hard to. We don't always show it. Especially him. He barely says a word ever. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's unwavering by all means.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go after somebody else. I don't know how you keep that much cool.
Yeah, if he wasn't my brother and I'd be playing against him, I don't think I would do as good because he doesn't say anything, and I like it when guys talk back a little bit and get the banter going. So it's just our natural competitiveness against each other is why we always have such close matches.
8-5 now. Man, I've got so many questions at this point. I want to know who your #1 person that you like to beat on tour is.
I mean, I would say there's a lot of choices out there, but now recently it's Phil Dahlhauser.
Yeah?
Right now, just because, you know, he's playing with Avery now, and Avery's always been the guy I've had success against. I think I'm undefeated against him. I don't know if we're throwing numbers out.
I mean,
but now I'm getting payback on Phil for all the times he used to beat me with Nick, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I'm keeping that tally in the back of my head. You know, I got a ways to go to catch up, but yeah.
No, that's a good one. I like that choice. Anytime you can get after Phil. 9-6 here again. Crabb and Sander, the #1 seed. They had just a 2-set match in the first round. There's a swing from Timmy Bomgren, the southpaw. They had a 3-set battle against the #9 seed to get started. They lost the first 19-21, picked up the second 21-11, and then that third and final went 15-13. A chance to get right back out on the court here. Open net for the Bug.
Questionable pull by Troy there.
I would never pull against your brother. I'm sorry. Or you, for that matter.
I mean, yeah. I get so mad when playing defense and blockers pull, especially when a good set. It's like, yeah, like you have a much higher chance to block the ball than dig the ball when you pull, no matter how good you are at digging.
I think Troy's going to have an extra conversation. Not surprising there. I don't know what's better, just like his conversation ability or playing ability.
I would say his conversation ability is a little better than his recent playing ability.
Oh, come on. We have to give him a little grief, right?
I mean, he's getting into the podcast game, so
yeah,
you know.
So what's the name of the podcast? Do you know?
It's called The Right Side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, if that pulls, and it does. There's magic in that hand.
That was, you know, I don't understand some of the things, some of the digs that he gets, and it's crazy. Definitely one of the best, if not the best, defensive player of all time in terms of straight digging ability. Yeah.
Cameron, let's be clear. It's not called The Right Side. It's called The Right Side. That would be the name of the podcast. And it's 3 people. And I'm sitting with the third, Sean Rosenthal. Sean, how did this podcast get started?
You know, Troy and I were just kind of sitting around the house talking about it. Taylor was coming over a bunch, and so we wanted to watch some matches with kind of our insight on it, how we see the game, and you know, we just slowly started picking it up and going, and you know, starting to roll right now. So I'm loving it, and I love seeing these guys out here battling against each other.
So it's you, Troy, and Taylor. Looks like the main host, or do you guys trade off?
The main host would have to be Troy. I think he's the creative mind side. I think he used to work with Twitch a bunch playing video games actually back in the day, so he kind of knows that area and that world. And Taylor's very smart and all that stuff too, and you know, I just love to hang with the guys and talk volley, and it's getting me back into like kind of missing the game a little bit. So I think I've been out of the game for 3 or 4 years now, and I haven't missed it too much, and now that we're talking about it more, I'm almost like, you know, I got to get back out here and check it out.
Yeah, you start getting those feels like you can actually get out and compete again, right? The mind never fades.
No, the mind, I can still beat these guys in my mind. My body would tell me different right away.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You heard it here.
Let's be clear on that.
Sean Rosenthal can still defeat everyone on this court.
What are your thoughts on that, Trevor?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the body, Rosie needs some work right now.
Oh, this is the best part. So you can take as many shots at everybody as you want because they can't hear you.
Right, exactly. So now I'm in a perfect position. I think,
you are.
You know?
Except for, I don't know, you need someone to poke the bear back, right?
Yes, exactly.
Sorry. I'll try.
Yeah.
Try a little harder.
But right now, I think Troy's podcast might need to change to the wrong side because they are not looking very good right now.
Yeah, that's right now. They got to figure out a little something. Again, that was the words of Sean Rosenthal down there with Kevin Barnett, the 2-time Olympian, having played alongside Jake Gibb in 2008 and 2012. And yeah, they're going to have to find a little something different here, but it's a huge task. Anytime you face off against Crabb and Sander, this also gives us a really good opportunity to talk a little bit about what you got going on. There is an epic points race right now for the 2024 Paris Olympics. There's no doubt you guys have your eyes locked in. You're heading off to Portugal in just a few days' time. Tell me what's been going on in this race.
Yeah, it's been obviously one of the, about almost coming up on 16 months for this race, coming down to the last 3 tournaments. And it's going to be neck and neck, and, we just got to go out there and take care of business. And if it comes down to the last tournament, so be it, like it did in 2020. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge and see what happens.
And the points distribution is currently on screen. We were talking before this, and you said, I haven't even looked at this because there has been just a switch this last week. Talk to me about how difficult this is, not just from a physicality standpoint in terms of preparing for the Olympics and the quad and the qualification process, but from a mental standpoint, this has to be a daunting task.
For sure. It's I think way harder mentally than physically. Obviously, you have to be in great shape and playing ability, but mentally, you're on the road, for weeks at a time, without, your family, and also like food-wise, you're eating random food here and there. It's a grind on the road, but you got to do what you got to do, and everybody else is doing it too, right? So there's no excuses there. So yeah, we got to finish it.
What's one of the best stretches that you've had, and maybe one of the toughest stretches that you've had through this process?
The toughest was definitely flying from China to Brazil and playing the day after we landed in a qualifier against some of the best teams in the world. That's what it comes to. That's part of this whole thing. So hopefully I don't ever have to do that again. I don't plan on ever having to do that again, but we'll see. Yeah.
How many hours is that on the plane?
The whole whole trip took about 50 hours.
Holy cow.
So over 2 days of traveling in a plane or in a hotel, whatever.
In a tin can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fun. No. We're back at it, 14-8.
What are you doing?
And there's the pull as it's Taylor
Finally,
Crabb.
we hear something, but you're down 5 points, so I don't know. It might be a little late for that. We needed that earlier.
Maybe they need a spark, Trevor.
Yeah.
We should go. You know what we should do is put you in their box, and maybe you can poke Troy.
Yeah, I'll coach him up and poke him up.
Jump set.
Oh, good.
And the light touch for Taylor Crabb yet again. So what is the approach to these last and final events? There was even maybe a potential that you could face off against Miles Evans and Chase Budinger in a qualifier for this next one, but maybe that's not as much the case?
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, we'll both be in the qualifier. And those are obviously super gnarly. Just being in the qualifier itself. Having to win 2 single elimination games, and then you're finally in the tournament, and then you got to do well in the tournament to get some points. So it's going to be a huge challenge, but we got to do what we got to do, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be great. Well, I know everyone's going to be watching and tuning in to see exactly what's taking place with you guys, as there is no doubt a race for 2024 in the Paris Olympics. This match is getting a little bit out of hand. Let's see if Troy Field, Tim Bomgren string a few here. Nice tough serve through the middle.
Come on.
Picking up that cut.
Get it.
Poke to poke.
Double pokey?
You don't see that often.
No.
It's like spiking a spike, poking a poke.
Yeah.
Here's a good look at the pickup, the cut shot. Tim Bomgren waiting right timing on the defense.
Taylor tried to set that poke, but overset it to Troy's poke.
I think, Trevor, we should just have you call some play-by-play. See what terms you come up with. Quick set to the opposite side and another side out. For Tim and Troy, they've always been so good at the scramble plays. And it actually makes me think of what you and Theo do, too, as well. You guys seem to find opportunities to score points in transition really nicely. What is the art of transition in this sport?
Obviously, being in the right spot defensively, but that transition set is huge, and making the right call as a partner, giving your hitter a good chance to place the ball. And everyone thinks that they always got to come in and bang, that transition set, but the right shot usually works more of the time, so that's important.
Well, so much still to come in 2024. We touched on it, Trevor. The league, it's starting in September, 8 straight weeks. You got to qualify in, and these heritage events are a great way to do so. You win one and you get a chance to play in. Have you thought about a strategy in terms of making it to the league and then being in the league? Because you're only playing a handful of matches on a given weekend.
Right, yeah. So obviously it's a little less taxing on the body, right? So I think it's 1 or 2 matches and you play every other week or something. But obviously getting there is the goal first. And then once we're there, you know, you just take it 1 match at a time and set yourself up to be in the finals.
Well, hopefully this guy gets a chance to be in that league come September. Having so much fun alongside Trevor Crabb. Thanks for joining us. I'm Cameron Earn. We got Kevin Barnett down on the sand, and these 4 fantastic pros that have been now somewhat veterans on this AVP event through the decades, as you get a chance to see Taylor Crabb now playing defense. Taylor Sander has actually kind of dropped it back just in terms of the service pressure. It seems like he's managing.
I think he's saving it for the later rounds, you know, when they really need it. He's got one of the best serves on tour for sure. And when he's on fire, it's tough to stop.
Speaking of scramble plays, oh, they're going to call him. He's in the net. Oh, gone fishing. That's one of the other worst ones, right?
Yes. Gone fishing, tuna in the net.
Bring them all.
Reel them in.
We have, with Rich sitting up here, oftentimes I'm like, he's coming up with things. I'm like, were you always like this? Like, is this what you were like in the box? Because, like, I don't know if I can keep anything quite serious with him.
Rich is a witty guy, you know. So
just don't tell him.
Yeah, no, I'll never say that to his face. No, he's good for this commentating business for sure. He's always got something up his sleeve.
Well, he doesn't wear sleeves.
That's right. That didn't make sense.
No.
Then, you know? Rarely a shirt either, right? You know?
That's also true.
Just out of bounds, wide, 14-17.
One of the few errors from Taylor right there. This is when they need to make a little last-second push.
Which they did actually in their first matchup. It was really impressive. They faced off against the 16 seed, who technically was the 41 seed, as there's an ace.
Yep.
But they pushed right at that 17 all mark, or 18-17 mark, in both of those sets. Let's see if they can find that last and final here. I think we've lost Kevin Barnett somewhere in the VIP section. Not surprising.
No.
Might have to hang out with you a bit longer as Tim Bomgren picks that up down the line.
Oh,
and you knew that was going to be a problem.
That was a big point there. You get that down to 1 and maybe force them to call a timeout. Now, I think it's over.
We'll see what happens. This is looking like there's a bit of an expanse between these two. I just think about having to play defense against Taylor Sander, which you have to do on a regular basis. My platform would just break apart trying to dig him.
I mean,
sometimes
sometimes I'm just getting out of the way or just hoping Theo blocks him when he's swinging full speed.
I think that's a good game plan.
It's very rare you're digging that ball straight up.
Yeah, I'd be like, Theo, please just go to work.
Yeah, do something up
Do something. Where is Theo?
He is probably getting ready to get on a plane. He's leaving a little earlier than me to Europe.
Phil Brunner, the partner of Trevor Crabb. If you're new to the world of volleyball, if you're living under a rock.
Yep. Oh, wow.
A little saucy coming out.
Oh,
there's one of those. And a net violation, but who?
Wow.
I mean, they earned it with that scoop.
Yeah, just when we thought we couldn't dig Sanders hard driven. The Minnesotan, Timmy Bomgren, comes up with a huge dig.
We'll chat about that one.
Now they're going to have some words here. What happened? Questioning this.
Can we go to replay?
Oh, net violation. It looked like maybe it was on the other side. Who hit it first?
I netted on Taze. I netted on Taylor Crabb. If there was a net before, what?
Yeah, we have the net. We have the net.
We have my net. Okay.
Mark hit the net. Should it be a replay?
Wow.
So Troy actually calling the net violation on himself, Would you ever?
That's you can't do that. You can't expect to win many matches when you're doing that, especially the close ones. I mean, I would never.
I'm just looking right at you. I know somebody's got to wear the black hat. I'm actually a little disappointed that you're not playing because we need a villain. Like, we need one. Where are you?
I know. I'm sorry.
Dang it.
It's
At
there's
least
too
you're
many.
still here.
Yeah, it's just all nice guys out there right now.
Yeah, I don't think I would have given it up either. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, but look, there's a little good karma. Serve out of bounds.
Ball.
Maybe you're doing it wrong, Trevor.
I mean,
I'm just kidding. There's no way.
No way.
No way I would give up a point. Hey, he went away even from the pink hat.
Yeah, I think that was probably a better call too. Now he's got the black hat, but he needs a little more better dialogue, I think.
You again.
That's a nice block touch there.
Oh.
And snaps it down yet again. Gosh, it's got to be so frustrating. I mean, you're one to do it. Somebody transitioning a play right back out, you feel like you finally got a touch and you're going to create an opportunity, and next thing you know, they just bring back the pressure yet again.
Yep, for match point, and
quick low set, and Timmy makes something of it. I'm not sure he was quite anticipating it, but nonetheless, that's Tim Bomgren.
It didn't look like he was ready for that set. He made do with it. You gotta serve Taylor Crabb here, I think.
And he does just that. Sun peeking through, and again, Taylor Crabb just keeps his eyes locked on the opposition, even when he's going up to take a swing or a shot, and that is just so unfair. 21-18, set number 1 to Crabb and Sander. With the start of this one, you said, oh, this might be working a little quicker, but they made something of it.
They did. They made a nice little comeback there. A couple of unfortunate calls with that net. But yeah, now this set will be interesting. If they start slow, I think it'll be over quick. But, you know, they could force it to 3, make some plays, and yeah.
Well, let's see if they can string some points together in the second set. We've got more coming here from the AVP. The AVP is brought to you by Rainstorm. Clean energy, great flavor, zero sugar.
How about a little magic? How about a little magic, huh?
Right back here on Stadium Court in this matchup of the second round of the men's draw. Let's check in with Kevin Barnett down on the sand.
Yeah, here inside the booth here, Tim and Troy. Tim, you guys steadied out in that second set, or second half of that first set. Tell me about where it goes from here.
Yeah, honestly, even though we started off slow in the first game, we didn't do anything wrong. We weren't making errors. They made a couple good plays, got a couple good bounces. We just stuck to our game, and sure enough, a couple of those bounces came back our way. We had a couple net calls on our which is our fault, but our game was great. We have nothing to change here.
That quick set at the end, were you expecting it?
Not exactly, no. But that's kind of how the TNT rolls sometimes. You just make it work, right?
Yeah, sometimes it just blows up. And Troy, okay, your game plan coming in. First set loss. What do you change right now?
I think it's more just mental that they had a lot of breaks. They hit, you know, we call it just like hitting lines, you know, literally, and just they played a good game. So honestly, I'd like to keep the same game plan. Thought we served really well, and I thought we got a lot of good touches, and hopefully the breaks go our way.
Who are you going to serve and why?
I'm going to serve middle because it seemed like it was giving them trouble. And then as they start slowly creeping in, I think I'm going to go to the sideline here.
Okay, how many podcast topics have you thought of out of this match already?
I mean, we got a few. I mean, we saw mozzarella as when Taylor played with Matza, and so we have a bunch of content coming for the weekend on the right side.
Thanks, boys.
I mean, matzo is pretty significant in that dyno. What's that like? Because that is a Hawaiian tradition.
That was pretty amazing watching Taylor covering 95% of the court. You know, Matza just stands in one corner. And he's got to pass it right to him if he wants to get set.
I was going to say,
or hit on one.
It's almost like, like the old school volleyball game where you just send it on one every single time and Taylor's just running around the entirety of the court.
Yeah, that was pretty much like that. I think he went over on one probably more than trying to pass it to Matza and get a set.
Have you ever played in the dyno?
I have with my dad, and we took second, almost won it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fun.
I'll be playing next year for sure.
Yeah.
Me and Belly Diggs, Danny Alvarez, we're running it back.
Okay.
Yep.
I like it. Well, you're just talking about your dad actually in the changeover. Chris Crabb and Paula Crabb, of course, the parents to Trevor and Taylor, and it sounds like they might be a little bit your lucky charm in terms of traveling internationally.
They are. They were in Mexico with us this year when we won the gold. They were in Portugal last year when we won the gold, and they're coming to Portugal next week. So
that's good news for you, man.
2 and 2 together. Yeah, I'm glad they're coming. Need it.
Hey, Trevor, has a Crabb ever won the dyno, or is that still on the to-do list?
No, my brother and my dad won like 3 or 4 years ago, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dad's actually won it a couple times back in the day, way back in the day.
And he wasn't playing with you guys?
This is when I was like in diapers, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. Yeah. Still on the baby court?
Yeah.
Still siding out in the baby court
Still,
in diapers.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Wow. Off the top of the block. I mean, they just play at a different height. That's scary.
Yeah. That ball was going to be out of the stadium if Sander put his hands down.
You need a helmet for that one. Probably end up in our castle up here. Hey, this is pretty slick, isn't it?
I like this. I like it. Nice view.
Yeah.
A little bird's eye view.
I'm just shocked Kevin Barnett was still a part of the broadcast here. I thought we had lost him. You got the AVP 360 section, the VIP. I mean, you guys usually find yourself under a nice little umbrella.
Yeah, it's still the courtside boxes. I like it. Mm-hmm. Nice beer garden over there for the general admission.
You wouldn't take part in any of that, though.
Yeah,
obvious reason.
Yeah.
You know.
Only Rosie. Leave that to Rosie.
I don't know. We better be careful with Rosie because he said he's already ready to be back out on the sand. Yeah. So we need to be careful.
I'll take a yellowtail and tuna. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I am in the VIP, Cam. Sorry about that.
Gosh. Are you ordering your lunch, Kevin?
We got some sushi up there now.
They got sushi up there, yeah. It's the VIP experience is upgrading. We got sushi up here. Got lots of beverages that may or may not include alcohol. It's a good day.
You better watch out because Taylor Crabb starting to make some more noise alongside Taylor Sander after that pickup. 4-3 here. I'm hearing there might be a bit of an upset out on one of our outer courts. Tracking now, trying to find the confirmation as there's potential that the number 2 seed took a loss in the first round, and in fact they did. Dahlhauser and Drost. You mentioned that's one of your favorite teams to take down.
Wow.
Well,
Who'd
somebody
they lose to?
just did. Hoppy and Shaw.
Oh, in 2 or 3?
Good question. That would be the 15 seed. It was in 2, 21-14, 21-19.
That is a big upset, I would say. Wow. But, you know, I don't know. Phil and Avery, they did a few fifths last year. But that young team, Hop Shaw, they got some potential to them. It's a good win for them.
That's a big win, especially considering the scores. Shaw went 17, get this, Shaw went 17 of 27 with 1 error, hit 593 against Phil.
Well, you'd think they would serve the other guy, you know, the smaller guy, Hoppy.
He hit 368 at 9 of 19. I mean, but Avery, that's really the big one right there, right? Saw 29 total attempts. Big set there from Taylor Crabb. Jeez. I mean, has he always done stuff like that?
Always. You got to just tip your hat. You know, he makes some spectacular plays, especially on defense. It's frustrating playing against when he does it against you, but that just makes beating him, you know,
that
even
much
more
better.
Yeah.
You have to know the score. Come on. The scoreboard in terms of you versus him.
I'm slightly ahead.
I thought so
But
too.
if we're talking in the last like 4-5 years, I'm a lot ahead.
What about
and that's
life?
all that matters, right?
In life, was that usually the case?
In life, yeah, I'm ahead because, you know, we had obviously a couple of years on him. He was a lot smaller growing up, so I had that advantage going for me.
Do you guys ever brawl?
Just a couple wrestling matches here and there as young kids, just standard stuff.
Okay.
Nothing too serious.
Coach Trevor Crabb.
Oh, thanks, bud. Trying to coach you up from up here, but
I know, we need to get a mic down to
You're
you.
not.
We should have put you on the sand. Oh my.
Oh.
I mean, how high is his vertical sander?
I think it's over 40 for sure. I would guess in the sand it's probably high 30s, which is amazing.
Seven all, and again, there goes.
Sander looks like a private detective right now with the mustache.
Well, I just don't know who's better. Is it Troy or Sander? Because they're rocking the exact same look,
Yeah.
both with the little stash and the glasses.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. Was it like Cinco de Mayo's over, right?
We're not in the month of November,
yeah, November
either.
yeah. Yeah.
We got Officer Bomgren and Field, not to mention Sander could be tossed in that mix.
Yeah.
Looks like a character out of Miami Vice.
Yes, he does, yeah. We got a little lead for Timmy and Troy.
9-7.
Come on.
All right, so what's your money on? Is this going 3 at 10-7 right now?
Oof.
If I was a betting man.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm still going. I think I'm going Crabb and Sander.
In 2?
In two. I might hear about it later, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
sometimes you gotta-
that's a safe bet.
What about you?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree. I don't have enough
It
faith.
pains you
I don't
that
have
badly
enough.
to
I don't
agree
have
with
enough
me.
faith. I don't have enough faith in Troy and Tim right now. They're not showing me enough.
I love it. That was the ultimate.
I didn't want.
black
I
hat.
wanted to, you know, bet against you, but
Little
a
chesty
chest
dig.
dig.
That's the second one we've seen from him today.
You know, if his chest was a little bigger, that might have gone over on one for the kill.
He needs to get on that Rich Lamborn
No.
regimen.
How do you have Rich as a coach for 4 years and just be, you know, no chest muscle?
Line.
Got it right on the back line. It's 9-11. 1 point to the back.
Don't worry. I think Taylor might hop on the Tim Bomgren workout plan, which I believe is probably headed up by Lindsey Bomgren, who's the strength and conditioning coach. I've gone through one of her workouts, I will tell you. They are gnarly.
Tough, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're tough.
Yeah, she's like a whole like fitness instructor, everything, right?
Online, she's got her own franchise and business that she's been running for several years. She does a great job with it all. Check it out. It's at Nourish Move Love.
So that's why Tim is always in shape. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's why he's yoked. It's just like, you know, he's got it going on.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But we've got a bit of a game here, 12-9. Bomgren and Field still hanging on to that lead. They're gonna make us look like fools, aren't they?
Yeah, I might have to change my bet actually.
Uh-oh,
Just
you can't do that.
for the heck of it, you know.
It's not allowed. I think I'm allowed to change my bet. Some numbers to look out for. As you look to the bracket now, there's the number 1 and 8. This is the second round. You got Cody Caldwell facing off against Hagen Smith and Logan Weber. That's a phenomenal seed placement for both of those teams. Again, with you guys not necessarily in the mix, as well as Chase and Miles. And of course, Andy and Miles also not in the mix. You've got some teams that are putting themselves and posturing themselves in a great position seeding wise to really do some damage here in Huntington Beach.
For sure, yeah. This tournament, I think, is pretty wide open. I would put, my brother and Sander are the favorites, I would say, to win. But other than that, it's pretty wide open to mix the semis at least,
So if there was a team to potentially clip them off, who might it be?
I think Smith-Weber has a good chance to at least get to the finals. That's what I'd put my money on.
Okay, that's good.
Obviously not Phil, because they just lost, and I don't think they're making it very far after that.
Well, and Smith and Weber are on the same side of the bracket as these two.
Yep.
Taylor and Taylor. On the opposite side, you've got Triborn and Kane Schulk. Recently just took themselves out of the Olympic qualification process in terms of chasing after the international points.
Yeah, they got a little tired from the race.
But then it becomes a directional block, right? Then it becomes a directional block.
Conversation on this last call.
And directional blocking.
Yeah, I missed that.
Little extra conversation still taking place. Maybe that's the fire to get Taylor and Taylor going here in the second set. Oh, yeah. I wasn't wrong.
That might have been OT or field goal. I don't know. Let's see the replay.
OT over TF.
Oh, it was right through. Right through the hands. Field goal.
Good for 3.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to go back for the jump serve this time now, too. Quick 2 steps. Nice little overhead dig. KG. Taylor Sander. We often talk about the developments in his game. He came out. There's no doubt he had the power. Then he looked to find more shots through 2023. Would you say he's pretty well balanced at this point?
Oh, yeah. He's got much better. Even when he first came out, just like that serve.
Sorry about that to cut you off. But that serve was lightning fast, line to line. I mean, that's just doing him dirty.
2-time best server. Shows it right there. Yeah, he's always had the beach game in him. He grew up playing a lot of it, I know, especially with my brother. And he fits it perfectly, I think, and that's kind of why he's had so much success so fast, I think. From those indoor guys transitioning to the beach, it's always tough. Him and then my old partner, Reed Pretty. I would say, yeah, both of those guys are, I would say, the top indoor to beach to come out and do well.
There's a look at set 1 to set 2 in terms of the efficiencies. They went from 286 to 545, so clearly making the adjustment offensively. And, catching up with these guys before this match, they struggled just a minute in that first matchup in the first round, and they said that, we don't want to necessarily change things. We're just kind of getting our footing back behind us as they had been paired up so long ago. And they said sometimes if it's just a matter of a few points, you don't really need to change a whole lot, especially in the case that if you're defensively getting a block touch or digging the ball or getting a hand on it, you've got the right idea. You just have to start converting. Is that how you would approach kind of maybe at times making those switches or not making those switches?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like defensively, the offensive players are just making great shots and you're not touching anything. And all it takes is one big transition play, one big dig to kind of change things around, and that's when you don't really need to make too many defensive scheme adjustments, but other than just trying to get one dig and one transition play.
You talk about momentum shifts. That serve from Taylor Sander started this falling of Bomgren and Field. Now 14-13. It is now officially a lead change for Crabb and Sander behind the service pressure of this man. Right through the middle. Oh, he goes to the short jumpy. Come on. Crabb's on it. Tight ball. And a secondary opportunity. Troy just throws up his hands.
Different story when he can't grab it and throw it back.
Taylor likes talking to the refs more than, I think, the opponents.
Yeah, I think they're talking about the slam dunk that Troy kind of got earlier in this matchup. Do you think he talks to the refs more than even his own partner?
Yeah, more than anybody.
Little set inside, quick 2 steps, and hey, there's a nice little play call for you in transition.
Yeah, a little quick back set. They need something here though to get that lead back. Short ball to the middle right here.
That's what you're
if
calling?
I was Tim.
Okay. Let's see if he follows instructions. Middle.
Please, yeah.
Oh, that's too easy.
Oh my.
And that's one way to get a point. Let's check in with Kevin down on the sand.
For the entire morning, there really hasn't been a good side, bad side with no sunshine. The wind for the first time, Cam, is just picking up pretty heavily into the face of Tim Bomgren. I think it's why you saw Taylor go to the jump serve. Taylor Sander went to that jump serve because he had the wind in his face. You saw him immediately on the side switch go to the jump float. I think Tim ought to crank it up here. And instead, he's chipping it in and just misses. But this is an opportunity, first of the day, to really get into your jump serve on the left side of the court.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we just saw Sander do, 3 aces from that side, and now they're about to switch back to the good side. And
could be a dangerous proposition, and so is that. Again, Taylor Crabb, the overhead dig. Now, Field. Quick steps, and if you hit it hard, it's going to come back that much harder. Blocked back into Troy Field. They're going to question this call here, but we're going to give them the Rainstorm Monster blocks. We also got the Rainstorm guy up here in the booth with me. Why not?
We do.
Maybe you should hand out this award.
I mean, we'll see after the call if it's in or out, if he gets the block or not. But you can't beat a Rainstorm Monster block.
I thought it caught him on the way back.
Try. Let's see here.
Yeah. So watch this block, and I thought it hit him. Am I wrong? Tough to see.
Tough to tell. Shout out to the best energy drink out there, Rainstorm.
You got your plug, so you're good now. He actually, I'm not kidding you guys, he really is. He walked up here and had it cracked open and already drinking it by the time. He was like, man, I got to bring it for this.
I needed some energy to watch these guys,
So I think I guess we are winning this bet.
Yeah. We both won the bet, or about to.
Gosh, it feels good. Is this what it feels like to win a title?
Almost.
Almost. Error starting to mount for TNT. Crabb and Sander looking to move on. If they win here, they are done for the day. They will play tomorrow at 1 p.m. Will face off against the winner of Caldwell Cook, Smith, and Weber. Fast feet for Bomgren. Near sky ball off the platform of Taylor Crabb.
Under the net,
okay.
-1 point. That should be a new rule, AVP.
Okay, I like this conversation.
If you hit a ball under the net, you should lose a point.
Hey, we're all about, trying things out, doing some different stuff.
Serve or attacking. Anything under the net, not hitting the net, -1 point.
I like it. We used to call that a
Why
beer
not?
ball.
and yes, and a 6-pack of beer.
You got to bring the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
Bomgren awaits in the backcourt here. That's just dirty. It's just mean. As soon as you feel like you got a beat on him or figure out exactly where to go defensively, next thing you know, he just changes it. That is just
nice
mean.
little chop line.
One of the best at that short line shot. Match point here for Crabb and Sander. He's already dialed up a few aces, and he takes the pace off. Just about as dirty as that stash. Yeah. 21-16 in the second set. Crabb and Sander pick up another win. Moving on to tomorrow's action. Trevor, I mean, I feel like this is just way too much fun. Can you come back and hang out? Wait, when's your flight?
It's tomorrow night, so there's a small chance that I come back in the morning.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's see.
We'll try and get maybe you and Rich in the mix. See what kind of chaos we can create.
Yes.
So Crabb and Sander advance to the quarterfinals. And just 2 sets played. That would be the second straight win for them. 21-17, 21-17 in their first match of the day. They pick up yet another here as you walk back through some of the highlights. A tough task for TNT, but they were good from the blocking standpoint, from the service pressure standpoint. Nothing's going to be standing in their way.
Taylor doing Taylor things, digging wise, you know. That's tough to beat. And Sander got his serve going at the end in that second set from the good side. The right side.
And that was that last and final ace. I think that was our favorite one, right? I don't know. The line-to-line was pretty sick, too.
Line-to-line deep corner, yeah. But those short serves off speed are pretty nasty, especially from Sander. He's got that one in the bag.
Let's take a look at the stats from this matchup. It comes down to that efficiency as well as 5 blocks. That's 5 points on the side of Crabb and Sander. The 413 efficiency, 12 digs, and the aces to errors. That's rare. Ace over the error.
Yes, that is.
That's about as good of a ratio as you can ask for.
Yep. Whenever that's higher, then you got a good shot to win. And 2 to 2 for Troy and Tim, not too bad, but 2 blocks ain't gonna cut it when you're hitting 226.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit tougher. But Trevor, thanks so much for joining me. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you up here. We want to wish you the best of luck through the continuation of your Olympic dreams and trying to chase those down. And we'll all be watching you.
Thank you very much.
Come Portugal.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. A little banter here and there, but yeah, I'll be back.
Awesome. All right. Well, maybe we can sneak him back up here tomorrow for you guys. What a treat for all of us. But thanks for joining us. We'll be back with more from the AVP.